Courage, that willingness to face what we fear, if you think about it, is the only way that we will ever grow or change. Hello, Ennio Salucci here again. Thanks for joining me. Hey, today I'd like to talk to you about what I believe is the biggest thing that is required for us to craft the life that we desire. It's the biggest thing required in order to change anything in life. Biggest thing required to even take yourself on. And it's something that we all have and can exercise, and yet it feels like it's outside of us, like it's elusive to us. And that thing that I'm talking about is sometimes referred to as a virtue, and the virtue is courage. Courage. Courage, people mistake courage to mean that they are not afraid. And if you think about it, that's simply not true. If you were not afraid, what would be the need for courage? So courage is that willingness to move into what you fear, and that's simply it. The willingness to move even though you are afraid. And so I think about the things that you want to change in your life, the things I want to change in my life. If they were something that was easy for us, it wouldn't require courage, would it? Courage, that willingness to face what we fear, if you think about it, is the only way that we will ever grow or change. If we just practice the same competencies, the things that we're good at, what will it require of us, really? It won't require any new growth. It won't require any kind of change at all. It's just simply exercising what we're already good at. It's interesting that so many of the stories that we love and the movies show these scenes of people, our heroes, facing the things that they fear. And is in so doing and overcoming them, of course, that they become who they can be. I remember the Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, when Luke has to go into this cave and he faces his father. And in the battle that ensues, he ends up seeing that he could be his father. And that's one of the fears that Luke needed to overcome. It was Joseph Campbell who said that the treasure you seek the most is in the cave you most fear to enter. It's a recurring theme. But science is now discovering that when we are willing to put ourselves into challenging situations, new genes are turned on in our nervous systems, which in turn code us for new proteins, which in turn produce new neurological structures. Willingly facing our challenges literally changes us, literally changes our brains. And so, courage is required anytime you seek to not only create something new, but when you really want to produce the things that you most hold dear, the things that you value. It was C.S. Lewis that said that courage is not only one of the virtues, but it's the form of every virtue at its testing point. Think about how true that is. So let's say it's love that you want to produce more of, or intimacy, or trust that you want to have more in life, or authentic self-expression. Think about how true that statement of C.S. Lewis is. When you really are longing to produce love in your life, doesn't it take great courage to put your heart out there knowing that you may be disappointed and maybe even betrayed? Same for trust. Same for authentic self-expression. You think about some new project you want to create or some idea that's out of the box that you want to present at work. Doesn't it take courage to put it out there and have other people test it and maybe even reject it? So courage is always required. And when people come to the trainings that I do, it takes great courage to take themselves on. Courage, the willingness to engage things that they'd rather not engage. Even courage, the willingness to see and hear things you prefer not to. I mean, who wants that, really? It's the result, the outcome of that we want. But we don't want that kind of testing in and of itself. And so my encouragement to you today is to face the things that you fear. And you know, if you think about problems that have been thrust upon you in life and you take them on and you overcome them, doesn't it bring a great source of satisfaction and joy knowing that you've done that? You look back on that and you are even surprised. It's like, wow, I took that on. I overcame it. And sometimes, like I said, those problems are thrust upon you. But remember, willingly putting yourself into challenging situations. There's something about that ups the benefit. It's like when they're just thrust upon you, you may get through them and you may look back and say, wow, I did it, and that's good. But that doesn't change you as much as willingly putting yourself into challenging situations. So what is it that you would really like to take on in a new way that would require courage? It's Helen Keller that says something like, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. And the point she was making is that there's nowhere in our human experience that it doesn't require great courage facing our fears. So that's my encouragement to you today, is to exhibit courage in order to craft the life that you desire, that you want, in order to become the person that you're looking to become. So thanks for joining me, and Yo Salucci, and until next time, be bold.